Dear students, good evening. Welcome to Law Excellence IAS. Let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 22nd January 2021. The first article for discussion is Defending Liberty Against Political Prosecution. To explain this article, let me give you an example. In Andhra Pradesh, the social media wars are going between the two political parties, that is YSRCP and TDP. As YSRCP in power, it is able to lodge the cases against the social media activists of TDP, and it is not happening against the YSRCP activists, and police are not taking the cases and no prosecution is happening. So, is this not a selective prosecution? Let me again say that either to prosecute an individual for an offense or not is the discretion of the authorities. Can this prosecution be blinded by the political parties in power? This is the question which we are dealing with. So the word which you have to understand here is the selective prosecution. When a particular crime has happened by different people, only when a crime done by the political opponents is prosecuted, we can use that as selective prosecution. On the face of it, it appears that a person is being punished for violating the law. But another person who is violating the same law is not being punished or he is ignored. So here prosecution is applying a kind of a discretion whom to be prosecuted, who not to be prosecuted. So prosecution has this discretion, but on what grounds this discretion has to be applied? Whatever the grounds the discretion are applied shall not be unconstitutional. It means that it shall not be based on political ideology, race, religion, caste, class, etc. It has to be based on legal grounds. So today, this selective prosecution is happening in India. Do we have a protection against this selective prosecution? We do not have a protection. So in United States of America, there the Supreme Court has clearly stated that the selective prosecution is violative of the Constitution, or any discretion given to the prosecutors is within the constitutional limits. What the author says here is India has to bring in a defense for the accused, that is selective prosecution. If it is a case of selective prosecution, courts have to protect that particular accused from losing his liberty. That is the essence of that article. So the abuse of the state power, it has to be stopped by declaring selective prosecution as violative of the Constitution. Next is, are courts encroaching on the powers of the executive? We have to start this discussion from the concept of separation of powers. So courts are being given powers to adjudicate. In the United Kingdom, what we have is called parliamentary sovereignty. There the functions of the courts are limited. The courts cannot question the parliament and its laws. But if you go to United States of America, the matter is other way around. There, the courts are powerful. They can question the laws that are unjust, unreasonable. In India, the courts have taken the path of United States of America, and Supreme Court of India is considered as the most powerful court of the world. In this scenario, separation of powers means the three organs shall not encroach each other's space. But is this getting upheld or not? In India, according to me, more than the commission of the court, what is more dangerous is omission of the court. Let me put it this way. The court is supposed to protect the rights of the citizens and the Constitution. If the court just keeps silent, that is what I called as omission. This omission will make the rights of the citizens and the Constitution at its peril. On the other hand, commission means the actions of the court. In the case of the farm bills, no one have approached the court, and court has took a proactive stand to bring people towards a political settlement. Is it necessary for the court? Because that is more an executive domain or executive action. That is the first point. Is the court not losing its legitimacy? The legitimacy of the court comes from legal reasoning. If you see the court's intervention in the case of the farm bills, there is no legal reasoning over there. The court has stated that herd sentiments, if the court is trying to protect the herd sentiments, every section or group of the people will always get hurt, and It is not going to solve the problem. The court's legitimacy comes from legal reasoning. Without legal reasoning, without invitation, court getting involved is nothing but judicial overreach. Again, my point is, court's omission is more dangerous than court's commission. The most important point is, when the courts can proactively involve. Let us take Navjot case. In this Navjot case, Navjot Johar case, or which is called transgenders case, these are the minorities. These people cannot protect themselves, or the majority can crush them. These sexual minorities, in protecting their rights, court has intervened. Yes, it is to protect justice. It is to ensure the rights of these individuals. Against the majority, court has intervened. This proactive action of the court is invited. On the other side, court acting as a sidekick for the executive is dangerous. And finally, the point here is, in South Africa, there is a provision in the constitution which makes the courts to come into dialogue with the legislators. This kind of arrangement made over there is to fill the legal vacuum. So anything, if it is done, it has to be done systematically. If necessary, let's amend the constitution and bring provision like this, where courts can engage with the legislators and declare something as unlawful, and if it has to have a constitutional validity, how it has to be done. This education the learned jurists can give to the legislators. In South Africa constitution, that provision is there. Why can't we try that? That is what this article's important points are. Privacy and surveillance. Remember a point, WhatsApp and Facebook wants to connect their databases, but that was not allowed in EU. Why? There is general data protection regulation in EU which do not allow sharing of personal data between the applications. In India, there is no such data protection law. A committee was constituted called Sri Krishna Committee to make this. It has submitted its recommendations 3 years back and nothing has moved forward. Government has brought in a draft bill, and this is more emphasizing on data localization. So the personal data of the citizens of India shall be localized, mirrored in India itself. It has to be stored in Indian servers. That is what we call it as data localization. What is the challenge with this data localization? Government can access this and it can lead to surveillance. So any kind of data protection law shall not allow surveillance, shall give primacy to the privacy of the citizens. This is the spirit of the Puttaswamy judgment given by Supreme Court. And it is not worth to keep the data of the private citizens in a profit-oriented private company located somewhere across the globe. So in the United States of America, these companies' headquarters are located. Can we trust these companies with our data? It is always questionable. Getting it wrong on India's level of agricultural support. This is about OECD methodology. What did OECD said? Indian farmers are losing due to government's intervention. Government is not giving the necessary support. In a way, government intervention is ultimately making them to lose the profit. On what basis they said that? What are the international prices of a particular product? And what are the domestic prices? Let's take cotton. What is the domestic and international price difference? If the domestic price is low, then OECD report assumed that it is due to the intervention of the government. If the government intervention was not there, then this domestic price could have equated with the international price. In such a case, this difference is seen as negative support of the government. So the negative support means the intervention of the government has actually brought in negative results to the farmers. Now they say it is to the tune of 1.6 lakh crores. Here, the author discusses that in India, government supports by the budget statistics have actually improved close to the 3 lakh crores to the farmers. And this kind of calculation have its own pitfalls. The government intervention is not just the reason. There might be weather issues, there might be pricing issues, local issues, market issues. There may be many other factors which can lead to these negative prices. And this kind of calculation has its own limitations. That is the point said here. In the examination, you can, when you want to argue against the or in support of the farm bills, you can use this particular data of OECD, which states that there is a negative support from the government due to its intervention. That way you can substantiate. Next is American healing. What Mr. Biden, as President of United States of America, is saying, a perfect unity. So what he said is a perfect unity. How this unity of the people, unity of the minds, unity of Democrats and Republicans can happen? Remember, Mr. Trump has got close to 7 crore votes. That is huge by any standard. In such a case, many of the people also have accepted another agenda. So it means a bipartisan work is necessary. Today, White House, Senate, House of Representatives, in all these places, Democrats have majority or equal numbers with Republicans in Senate. In this context, the president shall not be emboldened by this democratic majority. He has to follow the bipartisanship. This bipartisanship will ensure the meeting of minds and ultimately the perfect unity is possible. That is the statement here. A case to dispose of mercy petition swiftly. So across the world, capital punishments are a thing of past. But India, capital punishments still exist. And along with India, 56 other countries, they exist. So one of the arguments why capital punishments have to be removed is the mercy petitions are not answered for years together. Many of the mercy petitions are pending for more than 25 years. And this mercy petition pending itself is inhuman and miscarriage of justice, because you are keeping a life hanging. So that's why, to fix accountability on the officers and on the humanitarian grounds, an action shall be taken swiftly on the issues related to mercy petitions. Biden begins dismantling Trump legacy. See, when the society gets divided, when there is no bipartisanship, what will happen? When Obama was president, whatever the things he has brought in, let's take Iran nuclear deal, Trump wanted to reverse it. What Trump did, Biden is reversing it. So that's why every government has to remember something, that is taking forward the other political opponent on the way to ensure that the decisions stand for long. If you take in Andhra Pradesh, Chandrababu Naidu selected Amaravati as capital and Jagan Mohan Reddy wants to shift it. So if Chandrababu Naidu have taken the opposition into confidence, if he has taken the bipartisan support for deciding the position of the capital, the thing would not have come together to that state. And what the Biden is dismantling, Mexico wall, and then immigration policy, added to that climate change, Paris climate change pact, America is coming back. These all the changes he is trying to make over here. Decision on Rajiv case convict soon, Supreme Court told. Now here there is a pity story of Perari Vallavan. What is the pity story? A policeman's extra zeal has made him convicted in Rajiv Gandhi's case. Later, at the deathbed, that man said that he did wrong. But 25 years have passed away for him in prison. He has applied for a mercy petition with the governor. The government of Tamil Nadu also has supported his mercy petition under Article 161. It is not passed, not cleared till date. The delay is happening at the governor's office. In this context, the mercy petitions or executive clemency has to be addressed quickly. That is the point we read already. Farmers reject proposal to suspend laws. So government has imposed 18 months moratorium to find a common ground with the farmers. But farmers are sticking to their ground. That is, laws need to be repealed and legal protection has to be given for minimum support prices. These are the articles for today. This is Dr. Rambabu signing away for Law Excellence IAS.